meant to you to be on the Smarty Young Pro team?
Being on the Smarty Young Pro team, it was a life-changing experience for me. Just to be able to go down and rope with Al and Trey and Joel and Tyler and Ben, and just watching what they do with their horses and how they keep their roping looking sharp and all the faith they have and everything they do. Everything they do, they have a spirit of excellence to go with it. Also being on the team has helped me, made me step my game up and want to push myself harder to become better. And not only that, but the time they took out of whatever they were doing to come help us and show us what we needed to do, and like the tricks that they have to get them where they are today has helped out a lot.
What have you learned by being on the Smarty Young Pro team?
Not only have I learned what it takes to be a winner and all the hard work it takes to get up to the top level, but I learned a lot about myself and how hard times can be when you're struggling with your roping, and to never give up, to push yourself harder and to keep working on the things you are struggling with. And eventually, if you keep working on those things, you'll become better, and hard work pays off in the end. And the Smarty training is unbelievable with how Alan, what he's invented. It has helped several kids. It has helped me a lot with like my timing and my swing and just my horses and how I've become where I am today.
So Haygen, tell me, what inspired you to be on the Smarty Young Pro team?
Just everything that you'd be able to learn by watching the pros and what they do with their horses and all the tips and tricks they work on every day to keep their roping sharp, to keep their horses sharp, and to be able to keep winning when they go on to all their rodeos. And the biggest point is that I've seen is with your horses, if you don't take care of your horses just right, then there's nothing. You can't win without your horse. So the biggest goal is to make sure your horse is working to his best ability.
All right, so now that you've been able to continue with that inspiration, what now inspires you to continue with the program?
Just watching all the pros, and it makes me want to work that much harder and watch all the videos of Alan and Trey and Joel and Tyler that they post, just on all the new drills they come out with and stuff that I can work on to make myself that much better and keep my horses working great and improve their ability. It just makes me want to push even harder to get better. And the other thing is just being able to go down to Texas, and when I first pulled into Alan's place, I just felt this feeling like this is what I was meant for. And not only was I excited to learn about roping, but I was excited to learn about how to improve my character and my life skills in general, and like the ropes of life. And not only that, but helping other kids feel like they are just as good as like us top ropers. So they actually feel like they'll be able to become one of us someday.
So Haygen, what advice would you give to a beginner that is just getting started?
Biggest advice I'd give to a beginner roper is don't be afraid to ask questions, and watch ropers that have been roping a lot longer than you have, because they were in the same shoes you were before, and now they're getting better and better because they've watched, they've gotten help. And not only that, the clinics Alan puts on, he's awesome with kids. And the Smarty roping dummy is probably the biggest thing that would help you out if you're just beginning, to keep your fundamentals right. And there's no such thing as a dumb question. You look at the top level of ropers, they are learning new things each and every day that'll take them to that next level.
As a parent, what improvements have you seen in Haygen since he has been on the Smarty Young Pro team?
Well, as Haygen's father, since we went down to Alan Bach's place, and we've experienced everything that Alan teaches and what he preaches to these young kids, how to step up their game. While we were down there, I witnessed Haygen struggling on roping behind Alan's Smarty Extreme. So while we were there, I figured that was where Haygen's biggest challenge was, is not with his timing. So we went through and picked up Haygen at Extreme and brought it home, and that's where we worked with him on it. The other things that I've noticed that Haygen has picked up on is noticing him helping these younger kids, a couple kids in particular. One for sure is his sister. He's helped her step up her game and helped try and teach her to get her to the place that she needs to be now, in the short time where he had to grow. The other thing that I've noticed is, I mean, he's learned how to control his frustrations on how, if things don't go his way, he's actually had to take a step back and go do something else for a minute to help focus and recalibrate himself to come back to and figure out what his problem was. And the other thing that I've noticed is what I've seen these kids experience. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for these kids to be able to go down and learn from these top guys, the pros on the pro circuit. It takes their time out of what their living is to help teach them what their fundamentals are and how to bring them to the places where they need to be or where they once were. I feel that it's probably one of the best things that it could be for a kid that is wanting to experience and wanting to push themselves to make it into the top pro circuit. The other thing that I'd like to talk about is, you know, being for these younger kids to learn from Alan and all the other guys that are on the Smarty Young Pro team to help these kids succeed. I think it's one of the biggest things that these young kids, it's an outstanding opportunity, and hopefully that even my son Haygen can grow with and keep teaching other kids, and hopefully one day be on the Smarty Pro team.
In recap, being on the Smarty Young Pro team has meant a lot to me. Just learning about my horses, life skills, and how to keep my roping sharp as long as my horse is sharp. And not only that, but I've been helping this little kid named Cooper. He has the same goals that I do, and it makes me feel good about myself knowing that I can help younger kids step their game up and become at the top level. And I just feel like that helps me secure my love and passion for roping.